Good morning. It's great to be here. Today, we are going to backflip into the future of health and fitness. If you think you're going to walk away from this knowing how to do a backflip, you're pretty mistaken. How about this one? Again, probably not going to happen. But thank you, ladies. Now that we have had our workout for the day, let's get started. I'm Maria Lai, and less than 30 years ago, I energetically entered the world. Growing up in London, Ontario, I learned to do backflips off my parents' couch. After a lot of broken furniture and a whole lot of begging, I immersed myself into gymnastics, figure skating, power cheer, and a whole lot of rock climbing. These days, I live in San Francisco and climb, practice yoga, and go mountaineering. It wasn't too long ago I took an adventure year off to train for the sports that I love around the world. I just want to start off with a few photos from that adventure. So here is the Leaning Tower, the most overhung big rock wall in North America. It's in Yosemite, California, and I spent several days climbing this rock wall with my friends right up there. There you go. Let's move on to another place in this world. After one long week of trekking across the Baltoro Glacier, I was able to see K2 at its finest. This is a picture I took of K2 when the sun was just rising. And as any eager yogi would do, I had to strike a dancer pose. Let's move on to China. This is a really interesting formation. It's called Moon Hill, and it's in southern China. Here, I was able to rock climb all these really interesting formations. This one actually arches at the top of this majestic hill. There I found one of my biggest projects. It was a rock climb called Paper Cut. And yes, it did hurt a lot. I first saw it and thought, oh my God, this is, no human would want to climb this. But you know, I tried it once and it really just shut me down, and I didn't know if I'd ever come back to it. But I did, and after a little bit of trying, a lot of rock pulling, I was able to send it. So, you know, that was my personal best, and it really stretched me at my limits. As you can see, I love being active. And not only that, my passion for health and fitness has inspired me to inspire others to live a healthy lifestyle and achieve their own personal bests. You know, without a doubt, everyone wants to live well and be fit. But it's not always easy. People lack guidance, motivation, and constantly feel like their busy lifestyle just gets in the way. Let's face it, living healthy is a pretty daunting task. That's my grandmother. She's definitely inspired me to be healthy. She lived 95 very healthy years. That's a long time. In the early 19th century, life expectancy was just over 30 years. Now we are expected to live into our 70s. Canadians into our 80s. This is really interesting because with medical advances, we've been able to eradicate disease and provide healthcare in a more accessible way. However, never mind the cat, the majority of North Americans are either overweight or obese. That's right, we're all, or most of us, are fat. And for Americans, 68% in fact. And just over, or just a little bit of shy of 50 years, the average weight of a human was 20 pounds lighter. Okay, so, you know, when humans entered the world, they were hunters and gatherers. They were farmers, they were scavengers, and it meant survival. It was in their environment that they had to be active and, you know, doing a lot of physical activity. Nowadays, things have changed. Our environment has changed. And we can find ourselves, occupied in other ways. One of the ways is sitting. The majority of us spend most of our waking hours in a sedentary position. And a lot of times, that's sitting. And you know what? Experts are saying that sitting causes or increases the risk of death up to 40%. And incidentally, obese people, they sit 2.5 hours longer than thin people. All right, so it's clear that medical advances have gotten us this far. We are aging, getting older, and our lives are more extended. However, we're sort of getting fatter and just sort of sitting around. Okay, so can I get a show of hands? Who's seen Back to the Future? 2. Yeah, the one where Marty McFly goes into the future and doesn't actually like what he sees. So along the same veins, with healthcare, sometimes solving one health problem often reveals an unforeseen challenge. And this is definitely true for health and fitness. But you know what? If we can see a little bit more into the future, having different insights into the trends, I think there's a lot of power in this, and we can really proactively change the staggering trends into providing a greater outcome. On that note, let's talk about children. Can you guys guess how many children and adolescents are obese? Maybe 1, 2, maybe 3%? You know what? Not at all. Right now in America, it's a staggering 17%. That is triple the rate of its previous generation. And what that means is that life expectancy is going down. The current generation is not expected to live as long as their parents. This is the first time this has ever happened, and something's got to change. Let's consider our options. So traditional fitness and health gyms are all right, if we can get there. But unfortunately, they don't actually want you to become a regular member. It's not actually very conducive to their profit model. Fitness DVDs, all right, they're kind of fun too. And, they provide a little encouragement along the way. But the problem is they get stale fast and oftentimes just get put on the shelf after a couple of runs. You guys all have seen maybe a few fitness contraptions. Well, they're just too gimmicky and not everlasting. There's plenty of quick fix remedies, but by nature, they're not so sustainable. And while everybody, or most people, would love to have a personal trainer, they find them too costly to integrate into their everyday lives. Fortunately, with the proliferation of mobile devices, I believe we can address and possibly reverse some of the most staggering health changes that we've seen in the past few decades. And I believe we can do it at scale. By the end of the year, half of North Americans will have a smartphone. And these kinds of mobile devices, they become connected. They are feature-rich. They provide us with applications that are persistent, fun, and social. These devices, people have with them 24/7. I think we really can leverage their functional capabilities to create change and help people overcome the challenges commonly faced when people are trying to live well. All right, so right now, the mobile health movement has started. And I believe that there's a lot we can learn and take advantage of during this time. I realize that, the mobile phone is not going to solve everything. But I do think that there's a lot of perks to this health trend, and it's definitely lowering the health threshold and barrier to participation. For instance, if you lack guidance, well, you've got a ton of information, experts, and advice filled with multimedia at your fingertips. If you lack motivation, Well, guess what? You can tap into your social graph. Never before are we able to create an interesting online peer pressure and social dynamic like we can now. Thinking your life is getting in the way, and God, you can't possibly track everything that you're doing. Well, a lot of these devices are coming equipped with sensors, and auto-tracking functionality, and they're coming at a very consumer-friendly price point. And you know what? A lot of these devices are becoming more and more connected. They're getting connected with their own environments and other devices around them. So at my startup, Skimble, we're taking this sort of connectedness and trying to provide more sticky, habit-forming solutions. After a long, hard day at work or study, I realized that many of you just want to chill out in front of the couch. Okay, well, there's something good on television. There are a lot of apps that are connecting to the TV and providing you more and more motivation and no excuse to not get off the couch. Okay, so let's get back to that sitting problem that we have. I know that these days, oftentimes we have 9-to-5 jobs, or we have something that occupies us to be sitting in front of all these tech tools, staring at our computer screens. But I believe now, more than ever, I dare say that with these technological advances, technology is not so much hindering, but actively going to be part of the solution. We have a lot more insight into the trends that we're seeing in healthcare, and I believe by knowing this, we can create an even better outcome. Much like what Jane Fonda suggests, I believe that being healthy can start anytime. It's never too late to start. And today, I've given you a glimpse into the future of health and mobile technology advances that are here to support. But I'm not done yet. Today, I want to leave you with an overarching thought and challenge, if you will. The equation, I believe, for health change cannot exist without an active student. That's right, you guys. If you think about it, you, with your personal motivation, can move mountains, and you should not underestimate that. I believe that with technology, we can train the trainer. And what that means is that while we can equip you with the technology, you can get out there and move your own mountains. And you know what? Not just your own, the ones of our future generation. I think this is a really amazing, incredible idea, and that this should become a mainstream form of life. You know what? Today, you guys will have sat in your chair for probably over 6 hours, and life will continue to get in the way. But with the advances of mobile technology, I believe that these tools will get you from sedentary A to a pretty healthy and active B. Backflip or no backflip, I think the future of health and fitness is really dying for you to take action. Thank you.